All right, ladies and gents, we made it. It's Friday, baby. Welcome. I'm happy to be here with you today. We've finally come full circle in doing a couple of these fancy serial number market reports with you. I did one a few days ago. Now we got a second one. This one's a banger, actually. We'll get to this one here in a moment. Um, some of you probably noticed that we're back on a regular schedule of video uploads, and it hasn't been seen in like 8 months. To be honest, I was kind of checked out for a while, and between this and doing whatnot, I actually took some time off of whatnot. I have a stream next Friday. Normally, I would have a stream today, and I was like, man, I just need a little bit of a break. It's fun, but it is a lot of work. It's work. I mean, don't let anyone tell you otherwise about that platform or selling on eBay. I do both. I sell on Facebook, and you have to kind of coordinate. And this is all kind of like nature of the business. You have to coordinate the communication to prospective buyers. All right, you have to take the time to list your coins, your currency. If you're going to cross posting is where you list your item on multiple platforms, like the same one. So, for example, if I had this 1883 Morgan dollar and I wanted to gain the most exposure, and this would be a little tip for you guys, there's nothing wrong with cross posting this to like if you have eBay, you put it on eBay as a buy now. You have whatnot. There's a marketplace where you can put it on there. And as long as you have like the same price across the board, then it's fine. And then you could post it on Facebook, buy sell trade groups as well. So you're gonna get because you're gonna find that sometimes the people that like to hang out on Facebook, they don't ever do whatnot in eBay. There are those type of people. But yeah, it's been kind of crazy. This week, after I'm done with today, I would have uploaded 10 videos, and not shorts, 10 actual videos, which is exciting. I haven't felt the invigoration for the hobby until I've done 10 videos in a week, and ideally, I want to do two per day. Now, at the end of the month, I won't be around because we're going to be on yet another vacation, So um, I have a good solid maybe 7 or 8 days left of doing more videos. So I'm just going to, I'm not going to say slam it out there because I don't want to diminish the quality of the content. I want it to be all relevant to you guys. Um, so, yeah, thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for all your views and support. You guys have been phenomenal. All right, so here we are. This particular video, it's slowly creeping up in popularity. Some people do like it, but at the end of the day, a lot of you can go on eBay and find this information for yourself. But apparently, you guys love hearing me talk about them. And I believe me, I do appreciate that. I'm not pushing you guys away for sure. But yeah, the fancy serial number report becoming a staple among a few collectors that really enjoy this, and actually they participate in the hunt and the secondary sales of such pieces. And what's cool is you don't need to grade any of this stuff. Even the higher end trophy pieces, your solid serial numbers, your ladders, things of that nature. Yeah, you don't need to, even those you don't even need to grade unless you want to. Completely voluntary, I would say. In certain cases, it's just a lot better of an idea just to keep the money in your pocket. All right, because when you're shelling out $30 to grade each note, that all kind of adds up, and you end up sending PMG currency or PCGS banknote hundreds of dollars to grade a few notes, may not necessarily work out in the end if your end game is to resell. All right. Sometimes the power play is just to go ahead and sell it raw. All right, we're gonna go ahead and start things off here with a real heartbreaker. I don't know what happened to this thing, but someone got a killer deal. It could be that the exaggerated shipping price, because something like this, could easily go into a plain white envelope. There was a under $20 plain white envelope option that costs like $1.11 or something like that. And as long as something sells at $20 or under, you could use that method. This is one of those. Someone, I don't know, maybe the fact that it ended at 10:41 in the morning, could be a thing. I don't know. 10:41 is okay. That's actually a reasonable end time for things, but you can't really tell what's going on here looking at the back of the note, and I do apologize. It sold for $2.99. It's actually a binary with 3s and 8s, and typically these notes sell for like between 15 and 20 bucks across all different kind of ranges of condition. Now, binaries are easier to find out there. They're kind of like on the lower end of the spectrum of the different archetypes of fancy serial numbers that you can find. But I think maybe the play on this one would have been to start the bidding at $15 and then opt for the plain white envelope shipping option to make it a little bit more enticing for folks that want to, buy and collect into a lower end fancy serial number that has all sorts of visual eye appeal, but not have to pay through the nose for shipping. All right, so a little food for thought. Maybe, I don't know. There could be a myriad of different things going on here. Let's see the listing title. Fancy serial number, binary note. I mean, they put binary in there. They even put the serial number 2021. Very nice. Yar, matey. Yeah, some spelling and various different types of things going on there aside. I mean, there should be a reason why this one didn't get more eyeballs. All right, and we do have actually a couple sales here today that we're going to share that were a little bit on the heartbreaker-ish side of things, but at the very through it all, it's a lesson learned. Okay, we're going to learn to kind of tighten up the listing title. We're going to tighten up things like the photos are okay. They're okay on this note. Condition wise, it looks crispy unk. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it looks like a really solid, freshly printed note, as if it was done yesterday. But someone got a really good deal here. If not for resale, it's not like you're going to get rich selling this one note. You're going to make like $10. Wish it could have sold for a little bit more. Next one that we have here, believe it or not, it's $100 bill. Now you got to be careful when you're dipping your toe into hunting higher denomination notes. Whatever you find, if it's that $20 bill, that $50, that $100, you have to, because we're talking about business here. When we're selling on eBay, we're kind of like in business for ourselves. We're all self-contracted. Whatever the face value of that note is going to be how much you own the note for. All right. So please do take that into consideration when you're hunting notes. And that's why I say hunting 1s, 2s, and 5s, okay, is a lot smarter of an idea, because you have A, more notes to go through, and B, the cost of ownership is going to be a lot less. But $139.75 after fees and shipping and all that, he probably made about 15, 20 bucks. It's okay, but it's a higher denomination note. This one right here is 6 of a kind 1s on there. A close look at the note, you could see a bunch of 1s, and there's a 2 and 0. But if you dig down deep, it looks like 6 of a kind 1s, but actually, it's also a true trinary. You're probably like, what in the world is a true trinary? Well, we know true binaries to be 0s and 1s. True trinaries are zeros, ones, and twos. So if you have any of those three combination of numbers all throughout the serial number, you're good to go. That's actually an archetype of fancy serial number collecting that's beginning to gain more popularity these days. Um, just for what it is. And it doesn't matter if it's a $1 bill, $2 bill, 100. This one right here sold for way more than face value. And it's just something to another thing, another type of fancy to be on the lookout for. Whereas maybe 5 years ago, this was never on anybody's radar. Um, so they even added the cool numbers index in here as well, which shows a 99% cool index. Sometimes this can work out in your favor. This one actually looks like a screenshot from an iPhone or Android device. But yeah, that type of data can always be useful and will help. It'll only help, like, if we're trying to sell a car, right? We're talking about more of the features that would benefit the customer. That would be another feature that would benefit the customer who's looking to collect into this. So it gives them reason to want to bid on something. This one kind of popped out of nowhere, okay? And my rationale thinks that this one might be a fake purchase, but we can't ignore it. This one here sold for $183.99. It's a super repeater almoster. So it goes 24242450. So in a fancy serial number kind of definition, it's not really a super repeater. You could say it's a hybrid of sorts. It wouldn't really be a hybrid because what does the 50 really represent? It doesn't represent anything on its own unless it's like a low serial number. But it's not. Your serial number is using every bit of the 8 numbers that's not zeros. So $183, it's very auspicious because a real legit super repeater, if that 50 was another 2-4, the note sells for $150 to $200 as it sits from a full complete super repeater fashion. So again, I'm very wary about this particular sale, but we have to bring it up because oftentimes we do come across notes like this where it's like, damn, close but no cigar. Are they still worth anything? To a collector, this might be $20. But someone did either there's some shady dealings going on here, or this is a legit sale for $183. I don't know. I'm not gonna point any which way, but we have to talk about all the different variables in that, so that way you guys are aware. Pretty neat one here. This one was this is a good old boy note here, organically bid up, 14 bids, $17.50 on the final sale. Okay, so people do charge shipping on the side. I don't traditionally talk about that with these. So what do we have here? It's pretty close to being what they call a millions note. So it's where you have at least four zeros that end the serial number or more. This one has 228. All right. Most people I know will pay a ton of money for these if it's like a single digit, like if it's just a 2 and then 7 in a row zeros. That would be meaningful. Now, what's the significance of these? So the BEP generally, when they're cutting up the subject sheets and getting them ready for pack out, when they come across what they call the changeover, where the serial number changes over. So when the serial number ends in 4 nines, and then the next note, the changeover or whatever you want to call it, ends in 4 zeros to start that new serial number tier or whatever, they'll generally pull those notes out. Okay, it used to be a commonplace thing, but they've allowed a number of these to go out into circulation. So there are some to be found out there. Obviously, this one right here has seen a fair amount of circulation wear, as you could tell. There's a little bit of the reverse. But when you do come across a note that ends in 4 nines or 4 zeros, they're kind of special. Most people don't really think about, the practice of pulling these out at the BEP when they get to them, but they're a little bit more lenient on it, and because of that, collectability is not ignored. 1750. I mean, it's not bad considering its condition. The next one that we have here, we looked at the true trinary. This time we have a true binary. Another organically bid up piece. 2017 $8 bill. This one ended at $62.09. I would say that's a very, very healthy price on that one, considering its condition. 10 bids. Again, this one has just zeros and ones, and that's what we're looking at here. Yeah, good old Georgie boys, looking a little rankly there. There's a few stain areas. Not the perfect note. It looks like they put it in a Ziploc bag and then they cut it, and I mean, you do what you have to do. If you're, contrary to popular belief, currency sleeves are actually not that easy to obtain if you're not looking online. Because you could go to Guardhouse's or Lighthouse's website, or you could go on Amazon. You could find them on eBay in packs. So you could certainly buy them, but if you need one like readily available right now, and you don't have a coin shop, and like 50% of the coin shops do not sell currency sleeves. That's the tough part. You kind of have to improvise with that. The next one that we have here, cool little ding, buy it now hit, $79.99. We have another binary. This time there's a buttload of ones. There's actually 7 ones. So they call these 7 of a kinds. There's 2 different types of 7-digit fancies. There's 7 of a kind when there's a number interrupting all the numbers, like somewhere in the middle, or 7 in a row. So if all the ones are right next to each other and it begins or ends in that 5, then that's a 7 in a row. And those are just slightly a little bit better for collectability. I just recently sold on my Whatnot stream a 7 in a row 3s on a Crispy Unk piece. Ended up selling for about 125 bucks. So that's kind of the difference there in the valuation between one and the other. Uncirculated, it looks like, from what the seller had specified, it's a really pretty note. Ones are pretty popular for collectors. Zeros, ones, 7s, and 8s are the top tier of single digit numbers. 7s and 8s because of their lucky kind of background status to it. Next one that we have here is a quad repeater, $30.87. That's a very very good sale on this one. So 4-digit repeater, 8773, 8773. That's pretty easy to know there. And this one here, it's a pretty good looking note. Not a lot of circulation wear that I could see. It's got a centerfold. It's got little discoloration areas on the margins. A few little areas of folding on there. So, it's not a crazy high-end gem, but this is one for the collector. Just based off of the look of the note, people will want this. Next one here, another binary, 8s and 1s this time. $10 sale. Okay, this one right here probably could have done easily double that because it has a lot of 8s. 1s and 8s, they're 2 of the more popular numbers, and then when you put them together, it really cooks. What's unfortunate and probably what scared a few people, our seller boy over here has an 80% positive feedback, and that's less than stellar. When people look at feedback, they want to see 99% or higher. All right. And depending on how many total feedback you have, you could accomplish 99% even with 2 or 3 dings to your feedback. It's kind of like your eBay store's credit rating, if that makes sense. 80% is more akin to a 450 credit score. It's really not that good. But even in like school, an 80% would be a B minus. So we would take that all day long. So it's not the end of the world. Unfortunately, the bad feedback drops off after 12 months. So the seller would have to wait. It will impact sales from this point forward, but do you necessarily give up? Hell no, you don't. If you're a brand new seller and you're caught in a position like this and you've tried everything possible to get that one feedback dropped off, either that's by contacting customer service or talking with the customer to see if they have a change of heart, um, you just have to keep plugging on. All right. And then again, everything is all about ethics. If you do it right and you exceed the expectations from this point forward, then you are going to be successful. Take pride and ownership of your eBay store. So yeah, eights and ones. Very nice note. $10. Could have been a $20 note. For the most part, the numbers really cook on this particular note. Next one that we have here. Now, Ronald kind of dominated a little bit of the fancy market report this week, and I guess you could consider this a low serial number, 2920. Some people don't like a 4-digit low serial number. They feel like it's just kind of like a stretch, but it is a star note. All right. And I didn't bother to look and see what the print run is of this star note, but considering it sold for $14.02 with 13 bids, it's probably a 3.2 million. But there you go. Really nice one too. Pretty good shape. It is circulated, I could tell. It's got areas of previous folds. You can actually see a horizontal fold across the one right there. But yeah, if there's any doubt in your mind of whether or not you should hold on to these, I think I've actually tossed a few of these back years ago, and I shouldn't have, because they're worth 10 to 20 bucks, and Chris Bianca examples probably can reach 30, 40 bucks as well. All right, Ronald with another one here, this time with a radar. I call this indiscriminate because all the numbers are different. 2643 3462 on this one. And it's on a 1976 $2 bill, $16.60, 11 bids. She is a beaut. Chris Bianca is what we have here on this. People love their $2 bills, so keep an eye out for radars. Again, they're similar to binaries. They're low end type of fancy serial number fare. Another one here. What do we call this? A radar quadnary. Quadnary is not a thing, at least not yet, but it features zeros, ones, twos, and threes on the serial number. I mean, that's pretty damn clutch right there. $27, 3 bids. This one is just very appealing on the eye because it's the first 4 numbers with 0, 1, 2, and 3 on there. I think it's really cool. This one could have easily gotten into a bidding war because of the serial number. It's very intriguing. And if you think it's easy to find a note with zeros, ones, twos, and threes only, and it's a radar, that is not easy at all. If this becomes recognized as a thing, like a 4-digit quadnary or whatever you want to call it, it could possibly sell for $100. Not financial advice, by the way. I'm just, speaking as far as like what ifs at this point. Next one here, another piece from Ronald, another 4-digit star, and it's also a flipper. So the 9s and 6s are the same type style, just upside down. $11.50. Keep in mind, ladies and gents, $5 bill, higher denomination here, not a lot of money made. 8 bids. All right, so. Here's another kind of crazy one. I saw this one. I'm like, that's neat. But at the same time, I'm more than taken aback by the final sale price of $46. It's a double super repeater. It's like getting a double cheeseburger, but having them put like 3 pieces of bread in between the cheese and the meat. I don't know. That sounds like an In-N-Out kind of like burger style, I would imagine. Animal style. So this one here, 5151-8585. It's a numerical hybrid, is what we call it, but on a super repeater format. And again, you just never know, guys. I'm pretty sure I've come across these, and I was like, man, damn, that's close. I'm gonna have to go and spend it. Like 10, 15 years ago, I wouldn't have cared less. But in retrospect, if I look back, I'm like, wow, I maybe should have kept that one. Especially when you grab $46 on the fly, 6 bids. There were people that, and I like Ronald to the point where he said double repeater. It's like, oh, well, okay, that makes sense. And that's exactly what we have here. This is kind of like pulling a rabbit out of a magician's hat. And it's like, oh, wait a minute, your rabbit has antlers. you know. Um, yeah, what do we call those? This is a true three digit low serial number, 348. $10 bill, by the way. Ronald again with a banger. $49 sale, 25 bids. 3 digit low serial numbers. It's Crispy Unk. Yeah, they're usually between 30 and $50. Again, it really depends on what numbers there are. Like I had one that was a low serial number, but it was 110. So it was also a binary, a true binary. But all in all, just a really nice note. A little bit of kind of factual truth here. People do not like $10 bills with fancies on them. They sell for a lot less than how much a $1 bill or a $2 bill would sell for. So just wanted to let you know, would I toss this back into circulation? No, I would not. Considering that I could sell for 4 times face, that's an easy sell all day long. Yeah, well, here we go. Here's our 7 in a row threes. This one here, pretty well worn too, and that kind of supports why this one ended up selling for only $77.45. Another X factor, our seller individual here has 0 feedback logged in, so this is like their first sale. Congratulations, by the way, my Surf AC14. I mean, if you're going to get into the mix and get the party started, there's nothing better I would sell than this. Sure, you might have sold it for a little bit of a discount compared to what the market is, but yeah, this is good stuff here. I would have felt bad and more worse if these were like 7s or 8s, but threes, they're kind of indifferent to some folks. Yeah, but that's a really good sale. So good job. Just tighten up the photos, crop it a little bit, and you're good to go there. Yeah, this is a duplicate lowish serial number. It's 5 digits, so it's a 2013B. We generally don't talk about these on the fancy serial number report unless it's warranted. This one, I would say, is more than warranted, considering that it's sold for a roughly 3 to 4 times what a normal 2013B duplicate star note sells for, $119.99. So kind of a little quick backstory. The BEP inadvertently doubled up on these same serial numbers. They were produced in Washington, D.C. in 2013, and then 4 years later, the same run of serial numbers, same block to B Star, was printed at the Fort Worth facility in error. So people are looking for the pairings, the exact same serial numbers from DC and Fort Worth, putting them together, and they're selling for a few $1,000s. So this one right here, I would imagine, is a pretty good one. I actually have one that's graded that is serial number 19,000. So it just has a 19 right in the middle, and then 3 zeros on both sides. And that's kind of like one of my trophy notes. Probably wouldn't give that away for anything less than $500. I know the duplicate star notes, depending on what is on there, they are quite popular today, and people are still trying to look for them. There's still a lot to be found out there, and there's still a lot of pairings that people are going for. So keep that in mind. We have what I would say is one of our other kind of unfortunate sales, but it's okay. It's not like this thing sold for $10. Super repeater, 28 repeated 4 times across on this dollar bill, sold for $80. Like they didn't even bother. Did it sell for $80 or less than that? Oh, I think this was the note that sold for 50. The seller ended up accepting an offer for $50 on this one. Now that I think about it, and that's the unfortunate part of it. But there you go. Super repeater. This is one of the top end fancy serial number types out there. Do not sell these for $50. They're worth 3 times that. So someone either got a really banging note for their collection, or they are going to resell it and make a C note profit off of it. I don't know. We'll see. If it comes up in the market, I'll let you guys know. But yeah, that's a really nice note. I love super repeaters. I would take that one too. My mom's birthday is on the 28th, so that's cool. We have here a flipper, sixes and nines flipper binary or binary flipper, $20.99. A pair of bids in the mix there. This is a $10 bill. Again, very unfortunate. Less profit to be made. If it was a dollar bill, you could still sell it for the same amount of money. Um, and it's a $10 bill. So, and we have a couple last ones here. These were best offer acceptance pieces. This one was at $200. And they called this one a quad double trinary fancy serial number. That's a friggin' mouthful there. So they call these 4 pairs. So you got 22445544, and it's a serial number type that's gaining in popularity, much like the true trinary that we talked about earlier. And the fact that this is on a $100 bill, and I'm hoping by the grace of God that it's sold for a little bit more than $150 to make it kind of worth it. So I'm going to copy and paste the listing title here. And then we're going to go into my favorite website called 130 Point to look at best offer sales. Generally, this is a website used for sports cards, but it does work on coins and currency as well. Let's see if it'll bring it up here. There we go. Bingo! $150 was the sale price on this one. Not too shabby. That works all day long. So yeah, that's ended up being about $25 in profit. They did charge $4 for shipping, so maybe $30 in profit. Because you have to take care of eBay's 13.9% or whatever it is for their fees. So yeah, that'll end up being roughly $27, $28 in profit. Again, that's fine. I would take that. And finally, this one here. Oh my God, I love me some double quads. So we have 4 of a kind of any one number, and then 4 of a kind of a different number. So we have 4 ones and 4 sixes, and they have to be grouped as such. What a sexy note. My goodness. It's a crispy uncirculated fiver. Looks really pretty with, like Lincoln and just people, I think, underestimate the beauty of the $5 bill. This is probably bar none one of my favorite designs of modern currency. But they were asking 175 bones, where, traditionally I would say 175 on its own would sell this thing. Let's see where we're at on this one here. So it's in there, hit submit. It says no results, so what we're going to do, make sure we look through this to ensure that there's no weird, funky, like asterisks or something, or I'll just cut off some of the listing title there, and there it is, top one. Okay, $125 realized sale on that one there. All right, and they charged $750 for shipping. That thing better be packed like Fort Knox for ground advantage too. J Panda R. Let's see Fort Knox shipping on this one. Yeah, pretty nice one there. I like that one. So 125. That's a fair deal on it too. So yeah, that kind of concludes things on the good old fancy serial number report. Man, great stuff. From top to bottom. Even if your note sells for $10 or it sells for 150 or 200, it doesn't matter. There's a lot to look out for. Keep in mind the BEP is constantly printing notes daily, so they're feeding the system. There's a lot of newer stuff that's still being found out there today. A lot of bangers too. So that's gonna go ahead and do it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. A quick glance at the market and such on your Friday. You guys have a wonderful weekend. We got more content coming out here in the next few days. We're really gonna ground and pound. I hope you guys are ready for it. I'm your host Sean with Blue Ridge Silverhound, and you guys take care. I love you guys. Thank you for all your views and support. All right, have a good one.